Hey there, everyone. This is David from the UFO Dave page on Facebook. I hope you're all well. I wanted to try something a little different as I just finished going for a walk around Garry Point Park and found a bunch of interesting new things, destruction caused by the monster, creature, animal, whatever you want to call it. Yesterday, when I went for a bike ride, I go through this gate that allows city vehicles to come in and go down it's like a roadway where they empty garbage cans along the way and that kind of thing. This gate swings open. It's got two sides to it normally. And I go past this gate, and about 10 kilometers further north along this path is where Terra Nova Park is. And I'll show more stuff about that because it's just the log seats at Terra Nova Park up on this hill are just being destroyed. Somebody mentioned something about termites. That's just ridiculous. Termites don't leave giant claw marks, and termites don't fling pieces of its destruction everywhere. Anyway, I digress. So this morning I went past this again. Yesterday the side of the gate was laid down in grass, and now it was gone. But the point is, it's been broken off. Now the gate on the other end of the park, I showed, I don't know, about a week ago. I took a video of that and posted it showing the destruction to that side, and a boulder that was probably 500 pounds, I'm just guessing, pushed maybe 5 feet from its original position, broken. Other pieces of boulder broken off and laid there in the ground, big dig marks in the ground, like literally 2 feet long, a foot deep in the ground, just total destruction. It couldn't be caused by teens. You'd have to have a coordinated effort to move a 500-pound boulder. Now, I want to show you something else. Speaking of boulders, okay, so I'm going to take you around this walk that I did this morning, and here's the photos from it. I'll talk you through them. So here's the caution tape and everything. The post was in the grass behind it, but now it's gone. They're cleaning it up already, I guess. You can see it's not brand new, but you can see it's been broken off. And this is a spot where it's laid in the grass. You can see this whole area. Plants have been squashed down, literally flattened. Wherever this thing goes, nothing really grows back up. It's flattened everything so well that it doesn't grow back up. So speaking of boulders, this is a boulder that's by the ocean that's normally a flat top boulder level that people can come and sit on. The boulder, I can't even guess how big this boulder is, how heavy it is. Thousands of pounds. This massive boulder has been shoved forward toward the water so that it's now slid down the hill. This isn't erosion. This isn't the ocean coming up and washing it down. The water doesn't come up this high. This is something that's pushed it. Thousands of pounds, this boulder. I'll show you a photo. Look, giant claw marks in the side of the boulder. Fresh. These are literally in the last couple of days on this boulder. Look at the massive chunk that something has taken out, starting at this bottom part right here and then dragging along. You can see claw marks dragging straight through and taking out a chunk of this giant boulder. There you can see it from I backed up a little and shot it from a different angle. It's a massive boulder, like literally 4 feet high, maybe 5 feet long, wide. It's just been pushed over. It's the same as the other one over here. It was flat top like that, sitting up on top, and something's just literally pushed it down. You can see all the, I'm starting to call it Charlie Brown hair, you know, the just squiggly marks, you know, these are so common. Massive boulder, and these marks are everywhere. These two boulders were sitting side by side, flat top. And I took a picture of this. Someone's made a fire ring. And when I first came to it and saw the ring, it was a bunch of rocks in a circle, in a ring. This thing, creature, animal, has just chewed up the rocks. Like literally, now it's just a bunch of tiny little rocks. It's just come along and chewed it up. These rocks aren't found all around. Somebody hasn't come around along and just filled this pit up with little rocks. These little rocks were created by this thing, creature, biting pieces off larger rocks. You can see everywhere where the destruction's happened. Look, it's all like all these little rocks were created from the bigger rocks that were there. Look at these claw marks in it. That one right there, right in the center of the screen. That's a claw mark. Something's come along and just scraped its claws along that rock and taken chunks out. Look, you can see the little divots, a little valley in that one where it scraped its claw along and scraped out a valley. That's very common, that look. See that right there? Little notch in there? It's just gone through. Look at on the top of this one too. The monster has come along and just chewed up the rocks. There might have been, 10 large rocks. Now there's 20 medium-sized rocks with little chunks everywhere. Now this, I'm going sort of in a counterclockwise walk around the park. And I started with sort of the northwestern corner of the park near the ocean, with that giant rock. Now I've gone probably 30 feet south, maybe 50 feet, I don't know, something like that. Just along the way, just you can see the water, the same water in the grass that was in the other picture. There, see that grass, and I just walked along and come to this. Now, this is a log that's been washed up on the shore, a big log. And what this thing has done, it's come along and it's made an opening. Look at all the bite marks. It's made an opening big enough for it to fit into. So this is something that can coil up inside this hole. It's made itself a home right off the walking path. And inside of it, it's like collecting stuff. Look, little pieces of rock that it's chewed. And little twigs. The little pieces of wood that were propped up that I showed you on that piece of wood at Terra Nova, where the little pieces of wood were kind of laid side by side. This creature is intelligent. It's bringing in little things. Anyway, this is the inside of it. And it brought, look what's inside this. It brought a rock. At the top of the screen here is a rock and a feather. I mean, this is from it must just have feathers stuck around its mouth area, because I'm finding feathers everywhere. Like it just kind of carries them around. Anyway, brought a rock into this little hole. And I'm just trying to get as many photos of it inside. I couldn't really see inside of it, so I'm just kind of sticking my phone inside of it and shooting it. But you can see where it's dug out, where it's left claw marks when it's dug out a hole inside the log. And that's, oh, wow, whatever this is, okay? Whatever this is, I found this in its poop. Whatever this is, I don't know what it is. Anybody know what this is? I found it in the creature's scat. It looks like a snakeskin. I should go back and get it. Anyhow, it's made itself a nest in here. There's the rock. I tried to shoot up into the log because it's made like inside, it's hollowed out the inside of this log. And this rock, I didn't see it when I came past before, which was about, I don't know, within the last week, I discovered this. This is the rock. I took it out. I have it at home now. It's just covered in bite marks and chew marks. Look, just that's a big bite mark or a claw mark that's taken off the pieces of this rock. And there's a big bite. I don't know what else to tell you. Took a bite out of the rock. And look, you can see in the background, all around, all of the rocks around are the same way. There it is. One of its homes. And right next to it, the log's been scratched to shit. More bite marks, more claw marks in these rocks. And look, okay, I'm starting to discover, like the log that had the little pieces of wood, the piece of log at Terra Nova Park that I took a photo of, that had little pieces of wood laid up like little soldiers side by side, all around the same length and size. These were all laid out. These rocks were laid out, all bit, all chewed, all bite marks, all little pieces that it's bitten off, every single one of them, laid side by side on this log. And down below, you can see where it's laid down. Anywhere where there's matted area, where there's a matted area like this, a flat area, it's coiled up there. And laid all these rocks side by side. Like literally, okay, it is plausible that a child or a human adult can come along and find a bunch of rocks and go, oh, these are interesting rocks. Let's lay them all side by side on a log. But I'm starting to find a pattern here of almost an obsessive kind of laying things side by side, lining things up, stacking up little pieces of wood, laying wood side by side. It just, anyhow, this whole area here, you can see where the log's been kind of destroyed. It just comes along and nests here, scratches things, bites the rocks. All of these rocks, every single one of them has scratch marks and bite marks in them. Look, you can see there's a claw mark right there at the top of the screen. Right there. That's a double, like a two, something with took a double claw or something and went scratch and took a chunk out of the rock. In every single one. Anyway, there's its home. Probably only a foot in diameter, 2 feet in diameter. Look, a notch taken out of the rock, a big massive rock. This is very common. I mean, if you see, conspiracy theorists are all talking about the triangles that all these people throw up. They throw up the triangle symbol. This is a triangle right here, and all these marks, very similar. I can show you dozens and dozens of them. They're all the same, these notches that are taken out that are triangle shaped. In my opinion, it's nothing to do with Illuminati crap. It's people saying, I know this creature that creates triangles everywhere by its claws knocking into the wood, it broke this rock in half. Look, you can see the jaggedy marks on it. Claw marks. It broke this giant boulder in half. And this is all, these are the rocks that are laid out side by side. This is all in the same area, like a nesting area. And I think I also showed photos. You can see the long grass in the background here in the photo up in the top right. I showed where it slithered through that long grass, bringing rocks with it to chew on, and laid there in that grass. It kind of hangs out around this area, picking up little rocks and putting them side by side, chewing big pieces of wood off a log and laying down little pieces of wood next to it like little soldiers next to it. I mean, this thing has some intelligence, folks. There it is. There's one of its homes. Look at that. I mean, for people to say that this is a natural rock formation, I saw a couple of dingbats on the cryptozoology group talk shit about what I was putting up. These are not natural formations, folks. Triangles. Man. Natural rock formations, really? Claws came in at the top of this and dragged right through, taking all of that rock out, all of it out, digging it out. It's everywhere. All the pieces of rocks are everywhere. You can see little tiny pieces of rocks. It just destroys these rocks. I mean, to say it's just a snake is really not really what it is. This thing has claws and teeth and intelligence. Just taking giant chunks out of these rocks. It's destroying all the large boulders. I would say within the next few years, all of the large boulders, the thousands of pounds of boulders, these giant boulders, are going to be reduced to nothing. And nobody's saying anything. All these boulders are winding up just laying around everywhere. Big pieces. Look at that one with a giant notch out of it. That's a triangle. Anybody throws up a triangle, don't think Illuminati, think these creatures that they know. And bite marks. Bite marks. I mean, look at that. So I'm continuing to walk around the park. I'm going to something that I'd seen before the day before as well, that I woke up this morning and went, oh my God, this is a bite mark taken out of a rock. Natural rock formation? Really? That's a claw that went down and then kind of turned sideways and still took chunks out of this rock, this giant boulder. This one's probably, 3 feet high. It likes to flip them up on their end. I find a lot of like oblong boulders that are flipped up. Like it turns it so that it can get a better angle at it. A 500-pound boulder, it just kind of flips around and turns around so it can get a better angle at chewing on it. Just everywhere, there's chunks taken out of it. Okay, so here it is. Oh my God. I went by this yesterday and I went, oh, that's interesting. And then woke up this morning and went, holy shit. A piece of log. Now the sand has been blown because it's very windy. I saw this the day before, and it wasn't nearly as covered in sand. But the same size log or pieces of wood, sort of 3 feet long, with little pieces of wood laid side by side in a pattern. This is exactly what I found at Terra Nova Park. We're talking 10 kilometers away on the hill at Terra Nova Park where the log seats are being destroyed. I found a chunk of wood that I've posted and talked about the intelligence of this creature. This is 10 kilometers away. Basically the same kind of pattern, whatever. Two or 3 foot long log piece with these pieces of wood just lined up like little soldiers. Now, yes, is it possible that somebody 10 kilometers away at Terra Nova Park, where the children's play area is, the children came up the hill, they grabbed a bunch of little sticks. Hey, let's grab this log from the destroyed logs here, put it in the grass, and line up these little sticks next to each other. And then 10 kilometers away, there's some other children or an adult or somebody goes, hey, I'm going to put a couple logs down, lie them side by side, the same exact size as the one 10 kilometers away. What a coincidence. And put little sticks that are the exact same size in the exact same way. What are the odds? So now we have to say, what is the intelligence of this creature? Like, nobody's seen it. Obviously, I can't find it. The only thing I'm left to do is get a trail cam and just put the area under surveillance, because it's coming around every night and nobody is seeing it. It's destroying shit all over this park and nobody is putting 2 and 2 together. Now look at this. A pattern that's duplicated 10 kilometers apart. Man, this thing is smart. Now, I want to show this too, because this, like, what it's doing is breaking off pieces of rock from larger boulders and carrying them around. Okay, I don't know what else to tell you. It's breaking off pieces of rock, it's chewing on pieces of rock, sharpening its teeth, claws, whatever. And then it leaves these giant boulders just sitting there. So I took a photo of this one, but then I walked around behind. See this giant boulder over here? I walked around behind that, and look what I found. Well, this is the rock that's laying there and all the destruction, the claw marks right across it. I took a few photos of it. You can see the claw marks right in it. From the top to the bottom, it just right through, took all that rock out. Now look what I found on the other side of this big boulder. A bunch of pieces of wood just laid down like a bed next to this rock. It's making its homes. I mean, it's just, and it loves the dead grass. It loves the dead things. It doesn't like to lay really in the green grass. You see a lot of these patterns in the dead grass, but not in green grass. And it's just laid it. I mean, I'm just assuming then that it's laid sticks down to make a home and a bed for itself. And there's rock that's been destroyed next to it. There's the boulder down there. This whole area, look, it's just been taken off pieces of rock. Do you think this is natural? It's been taken off pieces of rock, boulders, and carrying them around, leaving them places. See? It's destroying this rock piece by piece. When I first saw it, I thought it was somebody like an artist coming out and taking the rock to do some kind of art with it. But then I started seeing like 500-pound pieces of rock, and it's not just little pieces chipped off. Some of these pieces are massive. And look, logs being destroyed. This is just like the log at Terra Nova. The swing set. This is what it's doing to the swing set. It's going to bring those down. Mark my words. It's destroying these logs, looking for food. It's hungry. There's another big boulder just laying by itself. And another one. They're everywhere. Another one. It just brings these over and just puts them there. It's collecting them, just like the rocks on the log, side by side, just like the little pieces of wood on the logs. It's collecting them. And all these marks, they're all chewed on. Look, one by itself, just sitting there. Just rocks by itself. Look, here's one here. Let's lay one over there. All with bite marks and chew marks. Another one on the other side. All of these boulders, these little, I say boulders, but all of these boulders, probably a couple 100 pounds, are just being carried around by it and left. Someone made a comment once, "Oh, where are all the pieces it was taking them?" Well, here they are, laying everywhere. It's carrying them around. Look, a big notch out of it. There's a triangle. Oh, it's the Illuminati. No, it's people who know these creatures exist. Giant rocks with big chunks taken out of them. I mean, look at this. It's taken that whole side of this rock off. And then its follow through has come through and made a valley at the bottom of it. Cut right through that rock. And look at claw marks. All of these marks on this rock are all from its just scratching at it, taking off pieces of it. Taking off pieces and carrying them around. Big divots. And where's the rock? I don't know, somewhere around the park. And this is a giant log. Now we're all the way around to the very beginning of the park on the other side. This is where the other gate is, where all that destruction with that 500-pound rock that was moved. It's destroying this log. Do you think termites are slowly making this log spread out like this with all these pieces everywhere? Look, these are claw marks that have come through and destroyed this old log. It's looking for food. It's hungry. It's hungry. Look at that. All fresh, freshly exposed. I thought it would go with the geese when the geese left, but no, it's sticking around. This is where it lives. This is its home. The food is gone. It's going to start looking for other sources. Anyway, folks, that's it. We're all the way around to the other end. There you have it. I'm going to show you. I've got quite a collection of rocks now that I've collected that I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a video in the next couple of days showing you all the rocks that I've collected. These are everywhere. Everywhere. Anyhow, folks, I hope you're well. Take care. Enjoy. And for God's sake, look up. Pay attention. Oh my God. What's going on here is crazy.